Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Scoops. I know I haven't vlogged in a while, and it's because I've been going through some stuff. And if you guys read the title, it's not BS, it's not clickbait or nothing like that. This is something really I was actually going through, or that I am going through. And I know I gotta keep vlogging, you know, and I miss talking to you guys. And I figure I'd go ahead and just get this one off my chest real quick, because I just got to, man, because it's tough, man. So I'm being stalked, man. You know, I've been stalked. My family was being stalked. My kids were being stalked by somebody who I thought was a friend, or somebody that we kind of saw as a family friend. But turned out that wasn't the case. I'm going to get into it in a second, but before I get into it, I'm going to give you guys a very good piece of advice real quick. And that piece of advice is, you know, you guys going into relationships with these women, with some women, and say they got like a ex-boyfriend that's kind of hanging around, or like a baby daddy that's hanging around. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys, man, you might want to avoid that. Just avoid that whole situation. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because this is how my whole situation started. I don't even know where to start, man. I don't know where to start. All right, so there's a guy that's been around, and it was an ex of my kid's mom. Because of that, this dude has kind of been in the picture because he had kids with her too, right? So, which is a very strange situation, and you know, hindsight, like I said, I wouldn't recommend you guys get into that type of situation. A few years back, I decided to move to down here to Florida, kind of start off a new life, stuff like that. You know, it's kind of get away, try something new, right? And before I moved down here, you know, every now and then, this guy would come and take the kids so they can hang out with his kids. You know, he picked my kids up, they go get to hang out with their other siblings and stuff like that. If you guys know, you know, you guys that are close to me, you know I'm really big on family, you know. So to me, it was important for my kids to be able to spend time with their brothers and stuff like that. So if you're wondering why, you know, I kept this dude around, that's why. In hindsight, I might not let that happen again in the future, because once I moved down here to Florida, you know, I was here for about a year or so, and this guy hit me up. Let's say I thought he was a friend of mine, but he hit me up one day and is like, hey, yeah, I think I'm gonna come move to Florida. I'm like, hey, that's cool, man, you know, and I don't really think much of it because, shit, everybody wants to come move down here, right? A lot of people anyway. For a lot of people, it's like ultimate destination. But anyway, I didn't think too much of it. But I had to open up my eyes a little bit, man. When this dude got down here, his kids wasn't with him, right? Now his kids, they're not as young as mine, but they're still minors. You know, actually one of them was still a minor, right? So I'm like, hey, where the boys at? You know? And he's like, nah, man, I you know, I wanted to come down here to be closer to the girls or whatever. I'm like, man, that's kind of strange, right? You know, so what type of dude leaves his kids to come down and spend time with your kids? That's kind of weird, right? Very suspicious. But anyway, his kids are a little bit older, and they're up there staying with like some family or whatever. And like I said, it was kind of a weird thing to see that. Every now and then we can hit dude up and be like, hey, you know, I gotta go to work, keep an eye on the kids for me and stuff like that. They would go spend a little bit of time over there sometimes. But we had some family gatherings where we started to notice this guy take a very particular interest in my oldest daughter. And it was really obvious. I'm gonna try to give you an example. If you ever been at a bar and you've seen a guy just kind of all over a woman, and you can tell she just really is not feeling it, you know, and it's like creepy. You get that feeling. It's like that creepy guy at the bar type feeling, right? And it's obvious. So he was doing this to my oldest daughter, who was 10 years old at the time, and this guy's trying to, you know, be next to her and stuff like that. And it's weird. So, you know, we'd be a family gathering, so he'd just be like, hey, come hang out with us, man, you know, something like that. It got creepy to the point where whenever he would just hit us up, we would just kind of be like, yeah, we got something to do today, or, you know, we can't hang out, and things like that. And we try to play it like that, and try to just kind of give him the clue, you know. So we thought that he got it. We thought that he got the message. But hey, look, maybe like a month or so, I hadn't heard from him for about a month or so, and one day I'm going in to wake my kid up for school, and I see her phone laying there, and I'm seeing messages. First of all, it's weird. My kid always wakes up on time, right? I usually don't have to wake up. They got an alarm clock and everything. My kids. I say my kid because this is the one in particular this dude had taken an interest in. Not really the youngest one, you know, I guess, I don't know. But, so I see these text messages all over her phone, and they say like, I love you, and all this stuff like this. And they also say stuff like, don't tell your mom, don't tell your dad that I'm talking to you. And they also say like, erase this message. You can call me again tomorrow night. Some messages were saying, you're gonna live with me. You know, usually it's basically the same thing. I love you. Don't tell your mom and dad that we're talking. Now this guy, I didn't tell you guys, this guy, you know, is older than me. You know, I'm almost 40 years old right now. And this dude is older than me. And he's, in essence, trying to get with a 10-year-old little girl. My kid, right? And of course, that's just not gonna fly. He won't answer the phone. Like, if you try to call him, he won't answer the phone. So all you can do is text him. You text the dude, leave my kids alone. You know, if there's anything you gotta say or whatever, you can talk to me or my wife, right? So I kind of left it at that. But what would happen is, a couple days would go by, and I'm checking the phone, and I get these same messages. Now, we blocked the guy's phone number. What he would do is change numbers. I guess there's probably some apps that you can use to change your phone numbers. So we would block one, he would change it and get in touch with him again. And then at the same time, he was changing up phone numbers and contacting me and my wife, right? And telling us stuff like, you know, y'all are losers. You know, he's calling all kinds of stuff. You know, it's for no reason. Now, let me tell you something, right? Now, you guys are probably thinking something at this point, right? You know, how am I gonna let that happen? But look, if you're a real parent, right, you got to do some really in-depth thinking, and you really got to think about your actions, right? I'm gonna tell you this. I'm never going to be no dad that's in jail, right? I can't raise kids from jail. And in fact, my wife and I are not even together. That's some other thing I've been going through. My wife and I are not even together no more. And so it makes me a single dad, right? And I'm not going to be one of them dudes from behind bars trying to take care of my kids, because it's absolutely impossible. So this harassment and the stalking, it just kept going on. And it just wasn't stopping. Different phone numbers, at different times of day, and it just constant. It's crazy. You know, we're in a pandemic right now. I found a new job. I was trying to take a course. I couldn't do that. because I kept getting blown up. I kept getting these threatening phone calls or text messages from different numbers. So what I tried to do is go down to the courthouse so I could get a restraining order. But my restraining order was denied by the judge because they said I had a lack of evidence. Okay. I did actually get the chance to appeal that, and so when I did go back to court, I could gather some more evidence. I continued to get harassed, and that was going on about 7 months or so of being stalked by this guy. That's right, crazy. A guy stalking a guy, right? But yeah, it happened to me. But it's because that first thing I told you about and I warned you about is that if you got your woman's ex-boyfriend hanging around or something like that, you gotta be really leery about that situation and just don't get yourself into it. Because I really think that this dude, whatever's going on in his head, I think that maybe he never got a chance to really be with the woman that he thought that he could be with. And I think the best way that he could try to, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but reconcile whatever he had that didn't go right with her and try to spend time with my kids some kind of way, if that makes sense, right? Don't make no damn sense to me. It's crazy. I mean, the guy's a narcissist. That's the thing you gotta worry about. All these things that this guy's doing to me, you know, texting me, threatening me, he's trying to get me to react to him. He wants me to say something to him or react or come up there and fight him so I can end up in jail and so I can be a dad in jail. All right, so here's another thing that he did while he was, as a part of stalking, as part of an attack on me, right? I was sitting in my studio one day and I seen the sheriff pull up outside of my house, and I seen I don't know, another officer, right? They start looking around my house. I see them looking out the window and watching them. They're looking in my backyard, looking around the fence and stuff like that. And they eventually come and knock on my door. All right, guess who it is? Child Protective Services at my house, right? They came to do a welfare check. They said that they got a report that my kids are being abused and that I'm abusing my kids, me and my wife, right? Remember I told you earlier, me and my wife, we're not together no more, right? We ain't been together. We haven't even lived in the same place for a while. So when they were there, they showed up, and it was it's summertime, you know, the kids hadn't been there for like 3 or 4 months. And because I sent them away because, you know, we were being stalked. So I didn't leave my damn kids in the house. So I'm like, you know, so if anybody shows up at the house, it's just going to be me there and my roommate or whatever. So, of course, they realized that it was a fake report because I was able to prove they weren't even in town. They were thousands of miles away, right? Way out of town, far away. Nowhere close to me. And they were gone for the summer, enjoying their summer break. So that would piss you off, right? It pissed me off. But you know what pissed me off even more? What else happened after that, right? So what happens after that is, since the kids weren't at my place, so I had to tell them where they were. And the sheriff and the other detective, they sent Child Protective Services to go and do a welfare check on my kids. It didn't go down like the one went down when I was home by myself. What happened was my kids were outside riding their bikes, enjoying their break, hanging out with their friends. When law enforcement comes, takes them into the house where they're staying at and strips them naked, look over their naked bodies. People with badges and guns stripping down little girls and looking over their bodies, looking for bruises. That's what fucking pissed me off the most. Excuse my French. That's what pissed me off the most. And see, this is the thing. This is another narcissistic thing, because all of these threats, right? All of these actions, and let me, just to add to that Child Protective Services thing, This guy has been spreading rumors. The whole time he was harassing me. He's spreading rumors. So even before Child Protective Services came up, I had 5 family members call me up, 3 of them in tears, crying, asking me why I'm abusing my kids, and they're hurt, and let me take care of the kids for you, and stuff like this, and they just want to see what's best for the kids. And let me tell you, you know what's going on with my kids? We're outside, we're painting, we're planting, we're gardening, stuff like that. They're outside playing with their friends, and stuff like this. So that's what really goes on with my kids. Great time. We're like hippies out here, you know, like love and peace, and anybody that knows me knows that's what I'm about. But anyway, he does that. So that was the worst thing. How do you think that has to feel? You're a 10-year-old little girl, 8-year-old little girl, people with guns come and strip your body down and look you over and start asking you, are you being abused? CPS leaves. I get a phone call from my kids crying. Why do people keep asking me if I'm being abused? People keep looking at my body. And you know, all I can say is don't worry about it. It's Mr. X. He'll go away soon. I'm gonna call this guy Mr. X. Mr. X, he's gonna go away soon, and I'm sorry you have to deal with this. I just went ahead and I noted that. The detectives knew it was fake. It was also a felony down here in Florida, by the way. It's also a felony, and that just adds on to that stalking. So I did finally make it to court, and I actually hired a lawyer this time. So when I'm in court, this is kind of how it went down. I had 2 people that had been around, 2 witnesses, or actually I had 4, but only 2 of them talked, because I guess the judge didn't have a lot of time or something. So two of my witnesses, people that were actually there to witness his behavior towards my kids and towards myself, that actually seen things. And I say that because I'm going to tell you about his witnesses in a second, because for some reason I thought witnesses were people that actually saw stuff happening or saw something that happened. And in this case, his witnesses were not. They were people that he dug up from my past that don't like me, right? That will say anything. Especially one witness in particular. And this goes to show, like I said, when y'all messing with these women, be careful about who you get, man, because narcissist people, crazy people out there, they'll do anything. So yeah, my witnesses testified and said, they witnessed him touching my kids inappropriately, which he did. You know, in one instance, he had his hand under the table rubbing my daughter's legs, and she kept telling him to stop, and he wouldn't stop, and she had to get up and walk away, right? When it happened, they told me later that it happened, And then I asked my daughter about it, and she said, yeah, he's annoying because he's always touching her legs and stuff, right? And I did actually witness him like following her around and stuff at another gathering, and it seemed creepy, but I didn't want to believe it. One of the witnesses, his fake witnesses that he had was an ex-girlfriend of mine who I hadn't seen in about, I want to say like 5-6 years or so. That's how long it had been since I had seen this girl. The last time she had seen my kids, they was probably like, babies pretty much. Said that this guy does dad things, or things that a dad would do with his kids, and doesn't see anything appropriate with it. First of all, she hadn't seen the 2 of them together in about 6 years, right? And second of all, here's some things that dads do that I don't think that I would qualify as things that dads do, right? The first thing is, when I asked my kids, like I said, they would spend some time over there to be with their brothers and stuff like that. I asked them, and just that, after I'm suspicious and we're trying to get away from this guy, I'm like, hey, when y'all spend the night over there, where do y'all sleep? They said, we're sleeping with Mr. X. I'm like, really? In the same bed? And And then my youngest daughter, she's like, yeah, and he makes us rub lotion on his back. It helps him go to sleep. I was like, ew, that's nasty. And my oldest daughter was like, well, I don't do it. Only she does it. So he's got his shirt off in the bed with my kids, and they're rubbing lotion on his back, right? That's not something my dad does. That's something a pedophile does. And this woman is calling that. Now, she, like I said, this is somebody that doesn't like me and will do the best that she can do to make my life suck, even if it means little kids getting raped, you know. And that's how some of these people are, you know. So, not to get into any relationship advice or anything like that, but stay away from these crazy women, man, because if your kid's getting raped means revenge on you, trust me, that's what they want, you know. And if you're watching this, I hope that you get raped over and over again by a dude with a sandpaper condom or something. So that was one stupid witness. Another one was their half brother, who we hadn't seen in about 7 years either, right? Who basically just corroborated everything that his dad was telling him. And immediately after the court was over, because there was a recess, we had to go back again. Immediately after, he texted me, hey, I don't know what's going on with you guys, but I was wondering if I could see my sisters, right? Of course, that didn't get no response from me, you know? So how are you going to testify against me, right? And then right afterwards, send me a text message that you just testified against me. How are you going to send me a text message saying I don't know what's going on, right? Of course, I sent that straight to my lawyer, because he didn't know what's going on. I hadn't seen the dude in 7 years, right? And it's just going to show this guy's spreading rumors, right? I don't care what people think about me. But to a point, you do have to be conscious of it, because you have family and you have kids, and it's not just affecting me. It affects my family. You know, what about the family members that are crying when they call me? And I have to explain that, you know, this guy's just spreading rumors. You know, and that sucks. You know, I do care about that, you know. I don't care what you think about me, but that type of thing, like, why you know, that's just little kid stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why this dude is just a chump. You know what I'm saying? But, so what happens is, and this is the sad thing about the judicial system, right? Because I don't think my lawyer took the time to go over all the paperwork and ask the proper questions. The judge was in a hurry and stuff like this. So I think they took all of his witnesses, I think they took all of that into consideration. When these people were nothing but people from my past who I walked away from a long time ago, you know, some narcissistic people that probably dead set on revenge, you know, one because, you know, break up with certain chicks and they don't want you to leave them, so they want revenge on you. Another one, you know, you're not friends with his dad, so he's gonna try to get revenge on you. And the other one was just some dumb chick. You know, I did end up getting a restraining order because of the stalking, right? But they only gave me the restraining order for 1 year. And that's why what I say, even when I said in the beginning of the video, is that I was being stalked. I can't say that it was. I still don't feel comfortable saying it was right now, because a narcissist will always come back. You know, every time I think things are straight, I get that again. You know, I get some wild phone number. You know, you're being blocked. Blocking people doesn't really do much, you know, and then, like I said, the judicial system, I think they were hesitant on giving me that restraining order at first because there was no clear message that said, like, I'm going to kill you or nothing like that. And I didn't save all the text messages. So my advice to you guys is, you know, if somebody's stalking you, make sure you save all them text messages, man. You know, record everything. In my case, I got a lot of the text messages that were between him and my kids. You know, he had even gone as far as using different people's phone numbers, or using different friends to try to talk to them first in the middle of the night and stuff like that. They're gonna try to turn people against you, man, just by talking. So, look, you guys just keep your kids really safe. Watch who you have them around. If there are any male figures, family, friends, uncles, stuff like that, look, just keep them away from them. I'm not saying don't have your kids around them, but just know who you're dealing with, man, and just kind of watch the interactions. You know, I got a few female friends. I've had a lot of female friends, and I still do. Say if you got about 5 of them, I guarantee you about 2 or 3 of them was sexually assaulted by somebody who was a family friend or uncle or something like that. I'm not gonna keep going on, so that's it, guys. You know, I was stalked. I'm being stalked. It freaking sucks. It kind of took me out of my game a little bit, but I'm back on it, and I'm gonna try to keep getting back to you guys as much as I can. So that's it for you guys, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for listening, and I'll don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And thanks again, guys. I'll check you next time. Peace.